if he wants to command the race off the start and build a gap, he probably could. We'll see how he takes it off out of the line. So there's a few others in the mix. Aaron Pike from Champaign, who trains with him, will be in. Aaron balances out some of his strengths with Daniel's strengths.
And they are off right now. We are underway, the 52nd annual AJC Peachtree Road Race. The wheelchair racers, the athletes going right now. The man to keep your eye on, again, is Daniel Romanchuk, and he is wearing number 200 on his helmet. He will be anything but 200th in this race.
No, that's right. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I think given the conditions, and it looks like he and Pike have got a little bit of a gap on Josh Cassidy. He's a Canadian in third place, former winner here. Josh brings some really good characteristics to this race and can do a lot of the things you need to do to be successful.
Daniel Romanchuk right now is the leader, and is this his strategy? Is this what we can expect, where he comes out very quickly, stays the course, and then finishes strong here at Piedmont Park?
I think so. I think for Daniel, it's in many ways almost like a time trial, and he's going to go off the front and press the pace, and you can see he's even gapped Aaron Pike there in second place a little bit, but I expect, because the first 5K of this course is a flat to a slight descent, that Aaron will be in with Daniel, just because that's Aaron's strength is slight descents, but once we get to the 3 mile mark, then certainly the balance will move into Daniel's favor. But Daniel, I mean, he looks as if he's settled into his pace of 19, 20, 21 miles an hour on this straightaway. And I really, at this point now, he's got such a nice gap set that I anticipate it's just going to be him out at the front and going after that 18:11 course record.
We are about 2 minutes away from seeing the women begin as well, but This is all Daniel Romanchuk. You have coached 44 athletes to medals across 3 Paralympic Games. Give me a sense of perspective. Frame him versus other athletes that you have coached.
Yeah, I get asked that question. That's a tough one to answer, but I will say that he does things in training that I have not seen to this point.
Like what?
In terms of on the track and just times that he can hit off of rolling quarters. He's moving at speeds that I've not seen, and I've coached some really talented athletes through the years. But just his ability, one, to hit a high velocity, two, to be able to sustain a high percentage of that velocity over extended periods of time, and a mental discipline and toughness. He's willing to suffer to hit whatever mark or goal that he has set for himself. I don't often see him crack and break during training. It's a rare occurrence if he does, and that just points to his mental fortitude.
It's very long arms too, doesn't he?
That is very much a distinguishing feature of Daniel is his wingspan, which is about 6'11". So that allows him to apply force over a longer contact angle of the ring. Just the amount of time that he can be actively applying force to the wheel is greater than anyone else in the world. So that's a long lever to apply force.
They always used to say that about Michael Phelps. That was a great physical advantage that he had in the pool. You can say this about him as well,
absolutely. You take that characteristic, which he can thank his parents for, and then project his hard work and effort and just natural aptitude at pushing a racing wheelchair, and it really is a perfect storm for success.
We are about 35 seconds away from the women beginning. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect there. Who are we going to see, and who should we believe that is going to be the woman to beat?
Yeah, so we have three Paralympians competing in Tokyo in that field, but we look at Tatiana McFadden, many-time winner here at Peachtree, and probably one of the most dominant wheelchair racers over the last decade. And I expect her to command a lead off the start and then maintain that through the duration of the race.
From the University of Illinois as well.
From the University of Illinois, yes. Yep. So they're three women in this race that are from the University of Illinois and train with each other. That's Tatiana, Jenna Festmeyer, and Ian Huang. You can see them and three in the middle. And I think that the race for second and third between Jen and Ian will be interesting because of the way they counteract each other's strengths and what this course yields. But you can see Tatiana off the line starting not too different than she would in a 400 meter on the track.
And she is wearing a helmet that has 250 on it. So you've got Romanchuk with 200,
right,
and she has 250.
Right, yeah.
And that will be the yardage of their victory, probably.
Likely so. So
we're not going to see a lot of drama. I mean, for the men and the women, you know who's going to win. The question is by how much.
That's right. I think so. I think on the men's side, I thought perhaps Aaron Pike would hold through the first 3 miles and push Daniel a little bit on the descent, but it looks like Daniel was able to put a significant gap off the front end of the race, and Tatiana will likely do the same. There's a slight little climb right off the starting line, and both Daniel and Tatiana are very, very strong on the climbs, even as shallow a climb as we see there. But that's enough, I think, to build that gap. And you can see Tatiana moving out about 50 meters in front of Jenna and Ian, and that's off that climb. And so really there are strong points, both Tatiana and Daniel on this course, is once they make it to mile 3 and begin that climbing part of the race. And in so many years, that's typically where the race starts, is at mile 3.
I always find it curious with athletes like McFadden. What is the motivation? I mean, the motivation clearly is not her opponents. It has to come from within, because she essentially is competing against herself at every event that she takes part in.
I think one of the characteristic that she and Daniel and others share is there's always some reservation of getting too comfortable, and there's always a catalyst to drive drive themselves to get up each day and to work whatever it is that they have as their goal. And there's enough competition out there that it keeps them sharp. It keeps them honest, and I think it's been very, very fun and to watch Daniel's trajectory, because it very much resembles Tatiana in her younger years, back in 2007, 2008, 2009 on the road, in which, well, now you can see, as I said, so there's Aaron Pike on the descent, moving by Daniel. So as I said, Daniel doesn't have many weak flanks, or the one in which Aaron holds a little bit of an advantage is on the descents. So now they start their first climb. So as you see, that's a short-lived lead, because once Daniel goes into a high-load environment, any climb, really he's the best in the world. No one climbs as well as Daniel does.
I'm going to take you a